your camera so that you can get this over there. It's this one right here. Yeah. Oh, you just went down. All right, lock it in right there. Grab the Wi-Fi brick and put it on top of the golf cart. All right? Gentle. Don't press any buttons. Just put it on top of the...
Yes, time!
Are you moving over to get these guys now? Good. There you go. All right, so what am I missing? Okay. All right, let me just, okay. I'm looking at it right now. Hold on.
Morning, and you may be seated, please. Welcome to Canterbury's 102nd exercise. We are grateful to have an extraordinary cross with us today. Our faculty and staff, trustees, parents, relatives, and friends, Father Mark, Mr. Castellini, and especially the class of 2019, 38 of whom are diehards. Last Thursday, as your final day of classes came to a close, I could hear and see a group of you giggling, soaking up the sun, and taking photos of friends on the pathway between my office and the Hume patio. I had just sat down to begin writing the speech, but couldn't resist a quick help. As I wandered down the walkway, it was clear that you are a spirited combination of smiles and relief, of, oh my gosh, we graduated in 1 week, and oh my gosh, we graduated in 1 week, and of pure love for one another. When about the speech, it was then and there I decided to focus my remarks on two themes, joy and goodness. Let's start with joy. You have heard the adults in this community talk about joy, seen CSSJ flyers asking, where is joy today? And perhaps realized along the way that Canterbury is a place where the importance of joy in your lives is recognized and celebrated. During your 5th form year, Father Mark explained during one of his homilies the difference between happiness, a temporary state, joy, something we carry deep in our souls to remind us of what we value, how we can stay centered, and why some people live with a greater perspective than others. So where have you, class of 2019, found your joy? In recent days, your joy has inspired campus-wide games of manhunt, entertaining moments in the pool, on the turf, and down a slip and slide, lingering conversations in the dining hall and around fire, dancing at the prom, cheering on the girls' lacrosse team to their championship victory, and playing dark tag in the library last Saturday night. Last September, just getting started, I watched Brian teach Sunfield and Plume Fortnite dance moves on the patio near the Bistro Lights. And last Friday night, I heard you scream, "Deepa!" under those same Bistro Lights after his amazing final performance in McGuire. The weeks, months, and moments in between, you have carried one another your senior year with joy. Not always with happiness, but certainly with that deeper, enduring sense of gratitude and love for this place. Think about your 6th form year and the people and moments you will carry with you beyond this place. People and moments that will continue to inspire your joy. Next, goodness. In January, we had the privilege and pleasure of welcoming to campus Mark Shriver, CEO of Save the Children Action Network and son of Sergeant Shriver, Canterbury class of 1934 and founder of the Peace Corps. Throughout his remarks, Mr. Shriver offered anecdotes that illustrated his father's life of service centered by family, humility, values, and forgiveness. Time and again, Mr. Shriver referred to his father as a good man. Positive impact on the lives of others and his unwavering commitment to service were the critical ingredients of goodness. 1 week later, I attended the Celebration of Life ceremony for one of Canterbury's beloved alumni from the class of 1949. I listened to members of his family of this incredible man, a good person, who raised his children, sustained a loving marriage, and mentored his grandchildren with clear consistent values. In fact, Peter Carney's relatives shared their family code this afternoon. Fish, faith, integrity, stewardship, and harmony. Ingredients of goodness. To be present today. Yes, if you're wondering, members of the Carney family love to fly fish, which inspired their family acronym. So here we are. Ms. Stone is sharing her favorite anecdotes once again in order to highlight a theme or two. Let's get to the point. In my office, I have a copy of a quotation familiar to me. Go into the world and do well. but more importantly, go into the world and do good. Suppose I could start there, I would have made a very short opening speech. Our wish for the class of 2019, then, is that you hold on to your joy tightly and deliberately, and that you never lose sight of the good work, the goodness you can bring to this ever-complicated, ever-extraordinary world. You are certainly a very strong start. Joy and goodness. Before we move on to the awarding of prizes, let us pause to enthusiastically show our gratitude to the following. First, please join me in thanking and congratulating Mrs. Roger, who will retire this summer. Mary, would you please stand? Please check on us often. Second, I would like to acknowledge your classmates who have been appointed to be members of the United States Military Academy class of 2023. Matt Horn, Haley Santersola, and Martin McDonald. Please stand. You have been recognized for your commitment to academic and athletic excellence and for your proven ability as leaders. Please know we are all proud of you and we wish you Godspeed and congratulations. And now, Mrs. Roberts.
The J.P. Mandler Teaching Award, in honor of J.P. Mandler, who served the school for 46 years in the role of English Department Chair, Director of Studies, Dean of Faculty, Director of Technology, Dean of the School, Senior Master, and longest tenured faculty member. Presented each year to that faculty member who reflects the fundamental commitment to excellence in classroom teaching. Sixth formers, you are not always witness to the endless hours outside of the classroom that great teachers spend preparing, designing lessons, participating in professional development, and thinking of fresh and interesting ways to reach you as students. Great teachers have excellent lesson plans, lectures, and assignments that they continually look to improve. They have studied extensively about how to teach and method of learning. They structure their days and units in a way that fosters maximal understanding and interest. This year's recipient understands the importance of building supportive and collaborative environments. In addition to forming caring relationships with each student, she fosters healthy and mutually respectful relationships between the students. She knows how to establish guidelines and assign roles to enlist every student's help and participation. Each student feels like they are not only accepted by a larger group, but that their presence is a necessary culture. Her classroom is like a community where each individual plays a part and feels at home. She has high expectations for her students, but those expectations are both challenging and realistic. She knows what each student is capable of individually and strives to help each one attain their best. This year's recipient always wants to continue learning. Her studies have taken her to the Sierra Nevada, Montana, Acadia National Park, and the Gulf of Mexico. Her love of the subject matter inspires her students to learn more, dig deeper, and think harder. Consistently expands discussions with vivid examples, amusing illustrative anecdotes, and relevant facts. On any given day, you may find her in the Aspetuck River, with waders pulled high, alongside her students of environmental science. Around campus, creating bee sanctuaries, open water marine science for study crews, or researching solar, wind, and geothermal energy sources for water energy and climate change. She works feverishly to educate our community regarding sustainability and the role we play in this world. gratitude for your 24 years as a teacher of science and beloved coach, advisor, and dorm friend of Canterbury, and for your selfless dedication to your students and colleagues, I am very pleased to present the 2019 J.P. Mandler Teaching Award to Margaret Cameron Briggs Roth. Cammie's daughter is graduating from college in a few short hours from now and therefore cannot be with us today. We will honor Cammie at our faculty dinner. The Robert M. Steele Class of 72 Scholar Athlete Trophy. In memory of Robert M. Steele, a model scholar athlete, for academic and athletic achievement, to Matthew Martin. Charles R. Huntington Scholar Athlete Trophy, in memory of Mr. Huntington, teacher, coach, and athletic director from 1969 to 1999 for academic and athletic achievement, Whitney Schwitter.
The Elizabeth Betty Award, given by the family of Mrs. Burke, school from 1964 to 1995 in the roles of faculty, spouse, parent, hostess, and school nurse. To a sixth former whose time at Canterbury has been marked by a cheerful determination to serve God and others. This year presented to two students, John Martiska and Gianna Terracino. John, congratulations. Congratulations, John. Respect. 87th Citizenship Award, awarded by this class to the performer who, in the judgment of classmates, has fulfilled obligations to school, to fellow students, to self, to Shirley Arias Santel. Richard L. and Mary Catherine Farrelly Award, presented to that sixth former who serves Canterbury quietly but thoroughly. This year presented to two students, Alexander Luo and Sarah Stone. The Philip H. Brody Award. Brody, who was a master at Canterbury to 1921 and 1924 to 1950 for exceptional achievement and all-round service to the school. This year awarded to 6 students: Nikki DeCola, Jessica Garcia, Rafe Harris, Gregory McKenna, Brendan Omanya, and Eli Taylor.
The Doctor Award. Award to the student whose leadership, character, and achievements have been of the highest order. Embodies the ideals of the founding headmaster. It is my honor to your commencement speaker, Mr. Robert Castellini. Mr. Castellini will share a few details of family and work to open his remarks. But he earned degrees from Georgetown University and the School of the University of Pennsylvania. Served 2 years in the U.S. Army, achieving the rank of First Lieutenant, received the Army Commendation Medal. He is active in his community and has served as the president of Cincinnati civic and philanthropic organizations. Moreover, Mr. Castellini exemplified lived with joy and goodness. I'm thrilled to welcome Mr. Castellini back to our Hilltop as 2019's commencement speaker.
Good morning. My name is Bob Castellini. I am the CEO of the Cincinnati Reds and the chair of companies, but more importantly, puppy. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Trey's mom, Robinson, class of '85. Patricia Headley, class of '91. Stone and the Board of Trustees, thank you for allowing me to honor the honor to speak today. This is an honor. Congratulations to the Canterbury class of 2019 graduates. This is an important day for you, your family, and your teachers. Graduation is a milestone in life. At Canterbury, you've been learning in a community based on 5 values: honesty, respect, compassion, spirituality, and self-reliance. These values will guide you through life. Recently, I was reading a book called The Big Chair, written by Ned Coletti and Joseph Reeves. The crowd would be about 1,000 people. It turned out that 12,000 attendees, and there I am, up there giving one to the Gipper, amazed about 6 beach balls. I was working too hard for the beach balls to be flying around. So I asked the graduates, bear with me for 5 minutes. The beach balls disappeared, as did I, after 5 minutes. Continuing in that fashion, what I have to say today will be brief. 7 seniors. I was 7 out of 8. My father died when I was 8. I had the fortune to go to our local Jesuit in Cincinnati. St. Xavier, you could receive a jug for behavior. The jug comes from the Latin word jugo, which translates under the yoke. In present-day terms, the jug or justice of God at Jesuit institutions usually entailed writing prose and poetry for an hour and a half after school. The only time I was excused from jug was during football season, when we had football practice after school, but I had to make it. The only time, at the end of my freshman year, the fine Jesuit priests, my mother told her, "Your son does not have to leave, but he should not stay." I was sent off to Campion, an all-male sporting school run by the Jesuits in Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. To give you a sense of Prairie du Chien, the English translation is Prairie of the Dogs. Campion was a school of 500 boys and extremely well-disciplined. Most of us thought it was a school. Not until after graduation were our suspicions proved correct, as it has been a halfway house for the state of Wisconsin for over 4 decades. I remember getting off the Burlington Zephyr train from Chicago. The track had a spur onto our campus. The last 5 cars of the Campion students on it. They were all from Chicago, half from South Chicago. I didn't understand a word that they said. We had to stop Boston is difficult to understand. Nothing more difficult than South Chicago. So the train pulled up and we quickly got off with our luggage. The train pulled out, and I looked up and saw a road sign. Campion Jesuit High School, Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. Send us a boy and get back a maniac. The townies the night before had gone in and painted the eyes after the MAN. This was, I was just so startled I couldn't believe it. I spent I couldn't believe that my mother sent me up to this place. I spent 3 years under the academic and disciplinary guidance of the Jesuit faculty, seminarians. If I had not been this wonderful school, and indeed it was a wonderful school, I finally realized that when I got out, I assure you I would not have been asked to speak here today. Who are these men that made up the faculty? Hardworking, hard-charging men of faith who, with God's guidance and wisdom, were dedicated to help young men like myself become prepared for life. Now, I would like you to direct your attention to this group of people over here, your faculty and staff. These are your faculty and staff at Canterbury. They have much of the same resemblance and characteristics of a wonderful group of faculty that helped my life. They are living proof in our presence that the great satisfaction in life is helping others. It's not how many cars are in the garage or how many credits you have after your name or the myriad of other worldly pursuits that can give you wealth, fame, or whatever. It isn't those things. The greatest satisfaction in life is helping others. Please join me in recognizing this wonderful faculty group calls its own. I'm asking you to give them a standing round of applause for what they have done for you during the most formative years of your life. While you are standing, please extend applause to your family members who are here today. They have supported you and will continue to support you as you continue on life's journey. And incidentally, you just gave two blessings. You gave two blessings in one day. You made people feel very appreciated. And, it was a wonderful thing to see you stand up and applaud your faculty, your staff, and your parents. In closing, I would like to give you a list of the top 10 list that might be just one of them you might bear with you. Number one, avoid a fear of failure. Every knock is a boost. Number two, choose not to be mediocre. Work on your weaknesses. Number three, always keep your sense of humor. 4, stay upbeat. The glass is always half full. 5, maintain a moral compass. Live a faith-centered life. Number 6, have strong character and sound judgment. Number 7, never quit. As Vince Lombardi says, quitters never win, and winners never quit. Be good listeners, and I like this one a lot. Be good listeners. Take the cotton out of your ears and put it in your mouth. Believe in yourself and believe in others. Live in a state of gratitude. The most important thing not included in the top 10 is every day be a blessing to someone. You will find that the greatest satisfaction in life is helping others. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. And now, your class valedictorian, Gregory McKenna.
Thank you, Mr. Castellini, and thank you, Mrs. Stone, most of all. The class of 2019 is proud to have been the bridge between two great eras in Canterbury's history. We're not only the final group of students to have known Mr. Sheehy as headmaster, but we have also had the pleasure of seeing you and hopefully helping you lay foundations that will allow your tenure to be just as distinguished as that of your predecessor. Thank you. Yeah, and so ever since that I was giving this speech, I've been tremendously excited about this moment, but also a bit nervous. To be quite honest, this isn't because I have the honor of addressing parents, relatives, alumni, trustees, not to mention our beloved faculty and staff. Rather, my mixture of jubilee is really directed at the most incredible group of people I have ever met, the class of 2019. By living and learning, I've discovered so much about who I want to be and what I want to become. And so I feel pretty guilty right now, because there's nothing of equal value that I could ever give you. What can I tell you about today that you do not already know? By becoming students of Canterbury School, you already knew that you were joining a group that includes some very famous members. But what does it really mean to be alumni of our Hilltop home, besides being forever destined to remain in the shadow of those who never actually graduated? First and foremost, I think we're all proud and humbled to sit here today. Regardless of whether we individually have spent just one, all four, or perhaps even the past, 10, maybe 18 years at Canterbury. Brendan, Max. I think it's actually fitting to remind ourselves that some of the most notable people who run this campus actually received a diploma. Today's ceremony, while loaded with symbolism and pageantry, in many ways means nothing. Now, I don't intend to diminish the significance and beauty of this celebration, or make Rafe happy because he believes receiving a formal education has been the biggest waste of time. In fact, I actually mean quite the opposite. What I'm saying is all the more meaningful when we view this ceremony as an initiation rather than an exodus. The significance of our Canterbury story, all that we have learned thanks to the dedication of our teachers and coaches, and more importantly, the education we received by creating memories with one another, truly starts to be paid forward today. We may be graduating, saints are really just beginning. Pretty cheesy, I know. The more I read, the fluffier it sounded. To talk about what being a Canterbury Saint means, however, it's probably helpful to consider the example of an actual full-fledged alumnus. JFK may not have received his diploma here, but his most trusted cabinet member did. Sergeant, a member of Canterbury's class of 1994, may have lived in the shadow of his much more and brother-in-law. But telling the history of 20th century America and admitting the creator of the Peace Corps and architect of the war on poverty is the equivalent of describing Bonds without mentioning his famous Hawaiian shirts. Or even better yet, like telling someone about Nikki without emphasizing Spider-Man jumpsuit and extensive Harry Potter wardrobe. So although he graduated 85 years ago, perhaps Sergeant Shriver can be of guidance to us. When his son, Mark Shriver, visited us in January, he quoted what his father demands of us as he alma mater this morning. If Sergeant Shriver today, I am convinced he would just serve, serve, serve. Because in the end, it is the servants who will save us all. So, what makes us ready to serve? Well, I'm totally unqualified to tell you, but it probably has something to do with Shirley. All aside, what she has done through Saints on the Hill, the CDIC and Social Justice Week, and all the other innumerable ways she improves student life is emblematic of why our class has so much promise. Thanks to Shirley and other student leaders, many faculty, and the genuine openness and efforts of all of you, we are a group of individuals who that, quote, he who knows and believes nothing is damned. And listen when someone has information we don't know or a perspective we don't understand. We also have the courage, grit, and tact to fight for something or someone when the rest of the world remains silent. Shriver tells us that, quote, in our society that is so self-absorbed, begin to look less at yourself and more at each other. Learn more about the face of your neighbor and less about your own. Everyone on the planet could probably do a better job of that. I believe our class has had some good practice. A class of so many talented students, athletes, and artists could easily turn inward and solely focus on their individual endeavors. Of students graduate from Canterbury, however, and what stands out to me about us is our desire to show up and be present for one another. When Eric Matson practically spotted the poor Avon kids dunk out of the gym, I know Shirley beat me to it on that one. It's worth a mention. It was pretty or when Jorgo gave Mr. DeLorco an extremely close shave and Sweeney Todd. And definitely when we made sure not to drop Deepa and presumably the first instance of crowd surfing McGuire Auditorium has ever seen. We were there. We were there. Repeated and performed, not because we felt compelled, but because we wouldn't have missed it for the world. We feel proud and grateful to be Canterbury Saints because we support each other's passions and are reinvigorated by one another's success. A trait we can apply for the rest of our lives. Living an other-centered life, however, means accepting inevitable adversity and failure. As Schreiber noted, quote, "The volunteer will find his work to be routine and full of frustration." Therefore, we are not only thankful for Canterbury for such a privilege and opportunity, but because our time here has not consisted of rainbows and butterflies. We have all gotten a test or paper back with a disappointing grade, unless maybe you're Nova. Experienced tough losses, again, unless you're on our title, or struggled through some, or perhaps many, personal obstacles. If you're Eric Sapone, you might have just tried to participate in a relatively mild Q&A with only to be chewed out in front of the entire school. I can't wait for that debate over the definition of clickbait to be opened at an alumni reunion weekend, by the way. But whatever infuriating grade, heartbreaking defeat, or embarrassing moment at Canterbury might have been, we can all be thankful that these setbacks happen here, where we can find overwhelming support and guidance from students and faculty alike. I also know that by this time, you are probably begging to finally up. Plenty of students and faculty requested that I make this as quick as possible, which made me grimace in advance, because anyone who has ever edited my writing knows that being succinct is not among my strengths. However, I have one thing I'd like to reiterate to the class of 2019, and an important caveat to boot, so it's not too hot today. Let me be clear. I know most of us can't wait to move on. I mean, I feel like I would be that upset that she finally has a reprieve from seeing my face on almost every single school day over the last 12 years. No matter how much you want to peace out right now, though, however, you never truly leave here. It is said that you don't choose family, but after spending the last 4 years at Canterbury, I just don't buy that anymore. When you decided to attend this institution, you may not have known it, but you did not just pick a school, but an extended family for life. I know I said earlier that graduating kind of meant nothing. Let me slightly rephrase that. Graduating is not too similar to the championship. Why? Because each of us is one of 98 members of the Canterbury class of 2019, which is something that no one or nothing can ever take away from us for the rest of our lives. Thank you.
You both for a reference. Nice job. Kismet. Class of 2019, moment has arrived. Annenbarger.
The awarding of diploma. Ichaporn Ekapan. Diego Ante Wright. Angelina Arceo. Shirley Arias Pimentel. Aliva Booth. Zachariah Burton. Gordon Max Robertson Bradshaw II. Finnegan Chase Brown. Nicholas Carmine Boniuto. Wyatt Devin Campbell. Thank you. Giorgo Carapides Soto. Casey Jennifer Selman. Nova Chen. Yu Chen. Nice job. Connor Perry. Casey Francis Chismezia. Sun Wan Cho. Carter Ryan Clark. Liam Everton Cluche Sutherland. Maxim Codier. Presented by his father, head of school for Pete Codier, Canterbury class. Amelia Mimi Datillo. Presented by her mother, Canterbury faculty member Ellen O'Meara. Adrian Miguel DeCola. Nick DeCola. Rachel Christine Jihan Deng. Sydney Elizabeth Desmarais. Francis Bailey DeTuro. Alexandra Lee Deutsch. David Ding. Aranza Echeverria Calderon. Fee, presented by his father and Canterbury trustee Kevin Fee. Sophia Cherry Ferguson. John Lawrence Fesperman III. Presented by his poppy, Robert N. Castellini. Jacob Finkel Hosier. Carter Matthew Finnan. Tyler Chase Frederick. Juliette Marie Fusco. Jessica Teresa Uy Garcia. Jamal Gilzine Tucker. Abigail Heath Gleason. Jackson Douglas Griebel. Madeline Grace Hackett. Patrick Haggerty. Rafe Harris.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Hopkins Hesslink.
Congratulations.
Anthony Iasenza. Matthew Jones.
Congratulations.
Bryce Lecky. William Yunwoo Lee. Great job. Alexander James Luo. Luo. Martiska.
Okay. I hope so.
Great work.
Congratulations, John.
McCormick. Martin Richard McDonald. Gregory Augustus Jr.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much, Mark.
Spencer William McLean. Margaret Elizabeth Melick. Mencia. Andrew Charles Misek. Madeline Elizabeth Milazzo.
Oh, Amy's there. She's here.
Rafael Amanya, presented by his mother, Amy Amanya, Canterbury class of '86. West. David Paluch. Good job. Good job. Corbin Maurice. Corbin. Lisa Pettit. Great job. And
Thank you.
Charles E. Powell. Nice work, Chaz. Jamie Lynn Mechanic. Great job, Jamie. Rose Puglisi.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Patrick Rafferty. Well done, Jack. Manuel Hanzolin. Emmett James Riley. Roberti. Senator Sola. Mathieu Raoul Sanscartier Savard. Mercer Schwitter. Nice job, Whitney. Well done. Richmond Abmisam Smith Birch. Skylar William St. Jane. Willem G. Steiner. Sarah Rebecca Stone. June Coughlin Stoll.
Congratulations.
Taylor.
Good job, Eli. Well done. Thank you.
Keep singing, Eli.
Gianna S. Tarantino.
Good job, G.
Thank you. I'm so nervous.
Alexander Tessitore.
Good job,
Guillaume Christian Jean-Jacques Van den Branden. Mikhail Verazub. Zhenxiao Wang. Madison Horn.
Thank you. Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you.
Jahai Jeremiah William. Lucas Adam Charles Williams. Shin.
Good job.
A lot of rehearsal. Eric Mark Zahn.
One more round of applause. (2019) and welcome to your new role within the Canterbury family as alumni. Canterbury diploma always serve as a reminder of all you have accomplished on the hilltop, individually and as the class of 2019. We are very, very proud of you. And now to close, Father Mark.
Let us pray. Loving God and Creator, to you we give thanks for the academic and spiritual development here at Canterbury by the class of 2019. Knowledge has guided their preparation for life. Your compassion be in their as they enter a global society searching for peace and harmony. Among these young men and women, we see the hope of a brighter future. Of truth, emissaries of justice, and workers for peace. As leaders in the 21st century, may the class of 2019 live lives by service to the less privileged, and those who live by the margins of society, as well as the powerless. As the road rises up to meet them, may the wind be always at their backs, your sun shine warm upon their faces. And until we meet again, may God hold us in the palm of his hand. Amen.